Yes, we might not be able to stop natural disasters from taking place. Of course, that's why it's called natural disasters. Yes, but then when it happens, what do we do? And of course, we could equip ourselves with knowledge to be able to tackle or handle it whenever it comes. And that's why we're paying attention to disaster and risk management on the Media Review segment today. Welcome, I'm Eunice Johnson, and my guest is Dr. Olufemi Oke-Osanyitolu. He is Senior Technical Advisor on Disaster and Risk Management, Office of the Vice President. You're welcome.
Good day.
Now, basically, disaster. When anyone hears disaster, you know, people are on the edge of their seats because they don't know, sometimes they don't know what to do. We've seen sometimes splashes on TV when disaster comes, run, call, this, that. But when you hear of disaster, risk, what is the first thing that comes to mind, aside the general point of view of the layman? What
okay,
exactly?
when you hear disaster is a life-threatening situation that the society cannot manage. They will need external assistance. If the society can manage the situation effectively, efficiently, they have the resources, it is still emergency. But if the moment they cannot manage it, that they need assistance, it becomes disaster. Now, in any society, anything that people are exposed to that could be harmful, we call it hazards. And immediately we have multifactorial that could potentiate the hazard situation. It becomes a life-threatening situation. And if the society can manage it, it's emergency. If they cannot manage it, they need assistance, it becomes a disaster. So these are the
clear differences.
These are the clear differences about the whole situation.
Okay, speaking on how well the media has been managing this situation, you know, you have a stint in the media, you've had cause to handle media-related issues at different points in your, before you got to this point, and also you've also had points where you liaised with the media for one cause or the other. Now, how would you say the relationship between organizations that deal with disaster and risk management is like with the media? What's the relationship?
When you look at it holistically, the fourth agents, which is the media, are very, very important in all phases, because we have the pre-disaster situation before this disaster occur, we have situation when disaster occur, and we have situation after disaster. Now, let's look at it very well. The pre-disaster is very, very important. To us professionals in managing disaster, we call it early warning signs. Disaster does not occur like that. It brings out certain signs. In medicine, we call it symptoms that you will identify that, oh, if care is not taken, disaster will eventually occur. And these are the area that we need the fourth estate agent. Now, early warning sign. It's for argument's sake, let's look at flood disaster. Now, areas which we call floodplain area that are prone to flood disaster, you will see our people, the citizens of the state, building structures in there. Building structure to obstruct free flow of water, to obstruct channelization in certain area. We will need the fourth estate agent to explain things to our people, to sensitize them, to create awareness that, look, ladies and gentlemen, you don't need to build structure in where we have the floodplain. You need to build your structure where there is no floodplain, where there won't be flood disaster. Then that's one aspect. Ensuring that they give our people early warning sign, which is very important. These early warning sign, if properly managed, will reduce morbidity, mortality that is always associated with disaster. It might even, in a society, it might even prevent disaster from occurring.
If adequate measures are taken into cognizance.
If people are well oriented, if people, they manage the local knowledge about the whole thing. And it's one of the main role and responsibility of the fourth
estate of the realm. But this boils down to ignorance and maybe lack of awareness, if you put it that way, because you see, you're talking about the fourth estate of the realm, who they are supposed to be agenda setters, you know, and then sometimes you tune into like the flood and a lot that happened in Benue State and some other states. You see predictions by NIMET predicted that flood so this time around, or this time of the year and all that. You see those predictions, but it has been observed that the public is not properly informed or adequately informed about precautionary measures and all of these things. So who is to blame? Would you blame the media for not properly analyzing these things?
We won't blame them, really, because we have to work hand in hand. Disaster management is the business of all. We can't throw all the blames on them, but we will say that it's one of their major roles and responsibility to create awareness, to sensitize our people what they need to do. They are the nexus between the government, non-governmental agents that manage disaster and the citizen of the people, because you see, the perception of our people, the local knowledge of our people is very, very important in effective and efficient management of disaster. And during the disaster itself, it should not be sensational, and that is why we keep on trying to create awareness that all the media organizations should have a disaster desk officers, because you will see some in front of the newspaper, they will just put it 400 people died, 400 no.
The sensational part,
the sensational aspect of it should be managed. We are not saying that they should not report things they've seen, but it should be adequate. One, it is not during the time that disaster is occurring that they need to start
talking about it,
putting things on media, on Facebook, on everywhere. They need to get in touch with the person that is in charge.
Speaking of getting in touch, which was what I was coming into, we will be wrapping up very soon. But how the media, yes, they have their own role to play, but organizations, bodies that dwell on disaster and risk management, do you carry the media along?
Well,
aside just having press briefings or events, do you have training, sensitization programs for journalists?
We do. Our agency, which is saddled with the responsibility to coordinate disaster management in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which is National Emergency Management Agency, they usually organize workshops, seminars for the for reporters, for the media people, so that all of us will be in one page. And media people are one of the key stakeholders. We call them primary stakeholders in disaster management. And today in Nigeria, we have a structure in place. In local government, the chairman of our local emergency management committee is the chairman of the local government. So if whenever any emergency occurs in a local government, you should get in touch with the chairman of that local government, who will give you adequate reports about the situation that is going on in this local government. Now you can move a step forward. In all our states, we have SEMA, which we call State Emergency Management Agency in place. The chairman or chief executive of SEMA, incidentally, is the incident commander of emergency management. You can get information from him
as well.
And on the national level, we have the National Emergency Management Agency, which we have the Director General of NEMA. You can get in touch and get adequate information about what is going on before you report it, because it's very important. Because you see, there are a lot of things that is germane in managing disaster. If you just put it there and say that, oh, 400 people died out of this road traffic accident, what do you want to create? What impressions do you want to give people? What are you saying? But you need to get your reports right. When you get it right, it's very important. It determines the outcome. It determines how we are able to manage the challenges that is always associated with disaster. And after disaster itself, all the top echelon that are managing disaster, they will always give the briefing. From the debriefing,
that's on the aftermath.
Okay. We give the debriefing that, oh, this disaster has occurred. This is what happened. These are the lessons learned, so that we'll be able to prepare for any
prevent
form.
A reoccurrence.
Yeah, we'll be able to prevent reoccurrence. We'll be able to look holistically how we manage our response, so that at the end of the day, if any disaster occurs in that area, it will be more effective and efficiently managed.
So more or less,
and today in Nigeria, we have emergency number. For example, in Lagos State, the emergency number of the state is 767. If you call the 767, it goes to the command control center. Well, the FCT, we are working on it to have an emergency number. But they have the DG of the FCT SEMA has its own number and is well publicized. But you can go to National Orientation Agency too, which is always on hand to assist us in dissemination information about emergency. One thing that everybody has to know, that emergency management or disaster management is the business of everybody.
Let's stop on that note because
life
of time.
And property is paramount to this administration.
Yes, emergency disaster management is the business of everybody. Yes, the media, the citizenry, NEMA, and every other person, stakeholders, do not leave it to the other party. You should have a role to play. That's it for the media review segment. Thank you very much for being part of the segment. I've been speaking with Dr. Olufemi Oke-Osanyitolu. He is the Senior Technical Advisor on Disaster and Risk Management, Office of the Vice President. It's been a nice time on the media review segment. Thank you.